The Bear Facts. Sabrina says she's on a field trip where Riverdale High is going to give a prize to the student who takes the most interesting wildlife photo. Sabrina wonders what frightened a bear and magically makes him able to speak to her. So he says he saw a monster. So Sabrina gets told by cousin Jackie that he's on a field trip, ruining the episode. He says he won't let his wards interfere with his class activities. If that was the case, this would have been a good episode. I don't like their voices, and there's no reason for them to be here. Sabrina undoes the spell on the bear just when Reggie's about to prove it talks, and he runs away and gets caught in a trap by monster kids. Reggie says that you don't see faces like this every day, and Weatherby plans on punishing him for that wisecrack as he's in front of a camera. Sabrina says she'd better hurry since strange things happen when she uses magic on monsters. Grundy gets scared by seeing a bunch of Weatherbys. Sabrina uses magic so that everything will freeze. She asks some monsters to stay out of sight. I wish they did! I've literally started skipping past all of the monsters' dialogue. Reggie sees them and starts taking pictures, but everything he does is pointless anyways. I like seeing that the monsters got tied up by the vampire. The Archie gang enjoys eating, and Reggie wastes time saying he has some pictures of monsters in the woods. But I would like for Horrible Hole to have to move. The only reason I'm not rooting for Reggie is because I know that he's doomed to fail no matter what anyways. No one hears Sabrina when she talks because she talks to the audience, and Weatherby says he must have gotten too much sun. If Reggie was smart, he'd have shown them the pictures a lot faster. Instead, Sabrina creates a clone of herself and tells her to get to the film. A bear is somehow human enough to mess with the camera, and Weatherby says putting costumes on the bear was too Hollywood, and the prize actually goes to Jughead for a close-up of a frog to add insult to injury. Sabrina tells Reggie that he must have just seen someone who looked like her, and she uses magic so that he sees himself driving a car. This worthless episode was ruined by the monster characters showing up when Sabrina and her friends are on a wildlife safari in the forest for a school field trip, because they're on a field trip too for some reason. Most of them aren't even kids. Why are they on a field trip? It's really obvious that it doesn't take any talent to write "the monsters scare the mortals" just by being there. So there's nothing impressive about it. I'm not looking forward to the rest of the plot because I know it's gonna happen right away. Go figure, Reggie fails to prove the existence of the supernatural. He's up against someone omnipotent. Why does he ever bother with this subplot? I know it'd be too dark for Sabrina to just be written to wish the monsters out of existence, and she's too nice for that. But if she did, it'd make for a much better episode. Della wants witches to be evil, so logically she'd have no reason to complain if she did. If witches are occupied with hiding their existence from mortals, the monsters would be too. So I don't know why a witch doesn't just send Horrible Hall to the other realm. Like, they could still visit them. Childcare. Sabrina's told by Archie over the phone that the gang's going to Pop-Tate, but she has to babysit her 3 cousins, who just have to be monster characters. I'm with Salem here. I want to skip every time they talk. They're just characters who exist to be annoying. She wants to read the kids a bedtime story. The monsters have terrible voices and want her to use her magic. She summons a dragon, recklessly, and they ride it. They cause trouble, which they wouldn't have caused if she had the sense to take away their powers or paralyze them in time instantly for the entirety of the visit. Why is the dragon able to do what it wants? Why would she create something and then give it free will? The dragon tells Weatherby to direct him back to Storybook Land. Because for some reason Sabrina didn't instantly warp it back to Storybook Land when she was done with him. She's flying with the Broommobile, and she somehow trusts the monster kids to behave around her friends because she has to go somewhere. Why doesn't she just freeze them in time for the whole episode? I know strange things happen for some reason, but when the monsters were turned into dolls, they were still turned into dolls. So why doesn't she just freeze them in time? This plot hole ruins any episode the monsters are in. Sabrina tells Dimples the dragon to come back instead of simply warping him to her. Weatherby's relieved that he finally ran far enough away from that mummy that was arbitrarily chasing him. Yeah, comedic voice or not, this guy's a jerk. And Sabrina sees that the boys didn't stay at the malt shop, go figure. Weatherby's riding the dragon, and the white band people say there's a leash law instead of freaking out somehow. Reggie is wise enough to say over the phone that he'll tell him what's going on here when he gets here. Sabrina uses magic to send the dragon back to the universe he came from. So Weatherbait says this has got to be a dream. The people driving the pound van don't want to admit that they saw that. And Sabrina uses magic to make the kids and herself disappear. Sabrina finally puts the kids in their pajamas into bed. She gets tired, and I wonder why she didn't make them stay asleep the entire time she was there if they were supposed to be asleep. Yes, strange things happen, but I've seen them be actually affected by magic before. She could just keep casting the spell if it wears off. The story ends with Jackie coming home and seeing that they're asleep, along with Sabrina and an octopus. I'd better not be the only one who doesn't give a single shit about these monster characters. Their voices suck. They don't have any personality beyond wanting to cause conflict in the episode, so they just suck. It's glaringly obvious that a witch with Sabrina's powers would have not had any trouble babysitting them. So why does this kind of plot happen more than once? She'd have just cast a spell to put the kids to sleep right away. She went to create a dragon from a storybook and chase the dragon around town, as well as the kids. She can warp the dragon back to the storybook.